We live in a world obsessed with happiness. Everywhere you look, someone is preaching about good vibes, positive energy, and the power of your thoughts. Smile more, be grateful, manifest better things. And if you're not happy, it must be your fault. We've turned positivity into a commandment, a performance, a shield against reality. But beneath all the motivational quotes and glowing affirmations lies a quiet truth. The endless chase for positivity is exhausting. It's not healing us, it's hollowing us out. Because somewhere along the way, we began to believe that being human wasn't good enough, that our pain was a problem to be solved, not a message to be heard. We learn to smile through heartbreak, to hide behind optimism, to turn every emotion into an inconvenience that needed fixing. And we call that strength. But that isn't strength, that's fear, wearing the mask of light. Real strength is the courage to face what's dark within us, to feel without judgment, to fall without shame, to break and still be worthy of love. Yet we've been trained to think otherwise. We scroll through endless feeds of filtered perfection where everyone seems healed, aligned, thriving. And when we don't feel the same, we label ourselves as broken. We begin to police our emotions, suffocating anything that doesn't sparkle. Sadness becomes weakness, anger becomes immaturity, loneliness becomes failure. We start to fear our own humanity, and that fear creates a void. We tell ourselves, if I just think positive, everything will work out. But deep inside, something whispers, what if I'm not allowed to feel what's real? That whisper is the sound of your soul begging to be heard. Because positivity, when forced, becomes denial. And denial over time becomes a cage. You begin to decorate that cage with quotes about growth and gratitude. You smile in the mirror and say, I'm fine, until you almost believe it. But every night, the truth leaks out in silence, the ache that you never let speak. The truth is, not every pain needs to be fixed with a smile. Some pains are sacred, they're teachers. They carve space in your soul for compassion, humility, and depth. Without them, you'd never understand the weight of empathy. But our obsession with positivity has made us allergic to depth. We crave surface comfort instead of real connection. We mistake distraction for healing. We tell others to stay positive because we're afraid of what will happen if they don't. And so we drift further from reality. We wear happiness like armor. We perform joy. We chant affirmations not as expressions of truth, but as spells against fear. And in that performance, we lose something sacred, the ability to be real. Because realness isn't always pretty. It's messy. It's uncertain. It's raw. But it's the only place where healing begins. When you deny your pain, you deny your transformation. You can't heal from what you refuse to feel. You can't find peace if you're afraid to face what's broken. And that's where the illusion begins to crumble. The moment you realize that pretending to be okay isn't making you happy, it's making you numb. You start to see the cracks in the light you once worshipped. You notice that the people who seem happiest online are often the ones silently breaking. You see that positivity, when disconnected from truth, becomes another mask for avoidance. And then something shifts. You stop chasing the light. You start asking questions. Why do I feel guilty for being sad? Why do I call myself a weak for needing rest? Why do I keep running from silence? That's when the collapse begins, the collapse of everything false. You start to see that constant positivity was never about peace. It was about control. We feared pain so much that we tried to erase it with smiles. But the heart cannot be tricked. It remembers, it aches, it asks for attention. And when you finally stop pretending, the storm hits. All the emotions you buried come rushing back. Anger, grief, confusion, loneliness. It's overwhelming and it feels like failure. But it's not failure. It's truth finding its way out. You cry not because you're weak, but because you're finally honest. You break down not because you're losing, but because you're shedding the armor that kept you numb. It hurts, but it's sacred pain, the kind that cleanses you. For the first time, you allow yourself to feel everything you've been running from. And in that surrender, you rediscover something pure, yourself. You realize that being positive all the time was never the goal. The goal was to be whole, to hold both light and dark without shame. To accept yourself not only when you're radiant, but also when you're raw. That's the turning point, the moment of truth. You stop saying everything happens for a reason and start saying, even if I don't understand the reason, I will still learn from it. You stop trying to control your emotions and begin to listen to them. They're not enemies, they're messengers. Sadness teaches you presence. Fear teaches you surrender. Anger teaches you boundaries. Loneliness teaches you the value of connection. Each emotion has a purpose. Each one reveals something about your humanity. And when you begin to see emotions as teachers instead of threats, something magical happens. You make peace with being human. You stop demanding constant happiness. You stop apologizing for feeling deeply. You stop forcing yourself into shallow gratitude. You start living from a place of truth. Because true peace isn't about silencing the storm. It's about learning to stand in the rain without losing yourself. Positivity in its real form isn't about pretending everything is fine. It's trusting that even when things fall apart, there's still meaning hidden inside the mess. It's the quiet belief that life is not against you, even when it's hard. You realize that every emotion, joy, pain, doubt, peace, belongs to the same divine rhythm. They all come to shape you, to cleanse you, to bring you closer to authenticity. You stop forcing light and begin to trust that it will return naturally when the time is right. That's when you finally understand light doesn't mean the absence of darkness. It means the courage to see beauty in both. And in that understanding, you begin to heal. Healing doesn't announce itself. It doesn't look like endless smiles or perfect calm. It looks like quiet acceptance. It looks like breathing through discomfort instead of escaping it. It looks like saying, I'm not okay today, and that's okay. Healing is not linear. Some days you'll feel peaceful, and others you'll feel broken again. But each time you sit with your pain instead of hiding from it, you grow stronger in spirit. You stop chasing the illusion of happiness and start living with integrity. You start finding joy in small things, the smell of rain, the warmth of tea, the comfort of stillness. You learn that peace was never something to earn through perfection. It was always waiting beneath your resistance. And once you feel that, you can never go back. You no longer crave constant positivity. You crave authenticity. You crave honesty. You crave real connection. Because real positivity isn't good vibes only. It's all vibes welcome. It's letting sadness sit beside gratitude, fear beside faith, confusion beside clarity. It's knowing that life was never meant to be one color. Real positivity isn't the denial of pain, it's the transformation of it. It's what happens when you look at your wounds and see wisdom instead of shame. It's when you stop asking, why me? And start asking, what is this trying to teach me? When you start living that way, peace no longer feels fragile. It becomes steady. It's no longer dependent on external light. It grows from within. You begin to move through life differently. You stop performing happiness. You stop comparing your path to others. You realize that even the darkest nights can hold divine purpose. You become gentler with yourself, more forgiving, more patient. You understand that the heart was never meant to be a machine of constant positivity. It was meant to be a vessel of truth. And truth, by its nature, is whole. It includes everything.